In the summertime, we go up to camp with groceries and supplies approximately every probably 3 days, 4 days probably at the most. In the wintertime, it's a little bit farther and in our desert area, so we'll usually go between maybe 4 days, sometimes 5 days, unless they call. And if they call, we'll be there the next day. We've had guys call us and tell us that, their horse, we need to trade horses out or something like that, or the sheep have some questions, or we're having problems with the coyotes or whatever. And so if that's happening, we'll go whenever they need us to. But usually a normal visit in the desert is 4 to 5 days. In the summer is 3 to 4 days. With weather elements and everything, we of course agriculture's main focus is on weather, and our guys always are wanting to know what the weather is, what we see on the TV or the radio, whatever, and so they can plan accordingly. But if we know that there's a big storm, or we've had storms where the snow is building up in the desert and or it's going to get cold, we'll go down and make sure they have enough wood, and the hay, have enough hay for the horses, and the guys are content as they can be because they know the elements are becoming. So we address those situations accordingly.
Anywhere from 3 to 4 days to no more than 7 days in the summer, and usually it's more like 3 to 4 days. And in the winter, we visit them daily.
No tiene un rígido así, ¿no? Puede venir también cada 4 días, 3 días, a veces 2 días, a veces al día siguiente puede venir, depende de las emergencias, ¿no? Puede haber emergencia y viene, ¿no? Puede uno estar mal, viene también, no hay un que cada 3 días viene, cada 3, no es así, ¿no? Viene de acuerdo a la necesidad de uno que necesita, ¿no?
The job of sheep herding has historically received special provision under the Department of Labor's regulations due to the distinctively unique nature of the job. Herders are on call 24 hours a day and must stay near the sheep. However, it is very misleading to say the herders are always working. While it is useful to the special interest groups to portray herders as always alone and always forced to work, that is a self-serving and inaccurate portrayal of the shepherd's job.
Some people have the idea that these men are out here alone, non-supervised, and I think that's a big fallacy. One, it's just like any business. Anybody who's a manager or the owner of a business has to be there to see that things are being run smoothly. Two, we work right alongside with our men. Now there are certain times of the year when there's a big group of men working and I'm working with them, whether it's shearing or lambing or docking, or when we're shipping lambs. There are times of the year that they might not be one side by side, but yet we're always with them, checking them and seeing what they're doing, asking them questions if they have any questions. So it's not like it's a job that nobody wants. It's our living, and we've done it, and we do it right alongside with them. Like today, when we're processing sheep or working sheep, that there's 4 or 5 guys together. The men may be alone for 2 or 3 days, or they may be alone during a season, but yet they're always going to be exposed to other men. Our herds in the summertime are so close; they're within a half-hour ride of one another. They visit each other. They have their cell phones in case something happens. We're always checking on our men. I don't think that problem exists with us as it may with other people, but our men aren't really alone that much. And in fact, you heard one of my men said he liked being alone, and I think a lot of those guys like being alone.
We are with them all the time when there's physical work to be done. The only time that we're not with the herders is during the herding situation. In the winter rains, they herd their sheep. In the summer, they herd their sheep. They actually don't want us there when they're herding because they have their own system, as I've mentioned before. And why would you want somebody there to tell you where to put your sheep when you already have your schedule all made up? During shearing, we're there constantly, helping with the shearing, the branding, the permectin that we put on. The guys are pushing sheep. We have extra help there all the time during those high intense labor situations.
And the shearing too, we don't, they don't actually do the shearing. We bring in shearing crews, so they're not part of that, but they're in the corral with us.
They are here for strictly sheep herding situations, and when we lamb, we all have our horses. We lamb right together with them. We all have our jobs to do lambing, and that's a 14 to 16 hour day, and they know that. But we're all together. We bring them special food when we're docking or trailing or shipping or shearing. We have special, and we make it an occasion because it is an occasion. They always have help when there is intense labor involved. The only time, like I said before, is when they're herding the sheep. We don't actually herd the sheep. Sometimes we do, and there's certain areas where Tony goes up and helps trail a few days, or helps in one area where there might be a little bit of difficulty, where they might need 2 or 3 men. Not very often, though. So we are with them all those times when the labor is an issue. I mean, when there's a situation where they need help, we are always there. Well, part of their loneliness, it's not like they come to this country not knowing what they're coming into. When they're in, most of the people we get are sheep herders. And that's a lonely life in Peru also. So it's not like they're coming here and becoming lonely all of a sudden. The only advantage they have here is they have solar panels for electricity, they have propane stoves, they have a good place to sleep. In Peru, they just have a piece of tin that they put over the top of their rock hut that they move every 4 or 5 days. They have different rock huts, but that's what they've told us. So, the loneliness probably is an issue, but with cell phones, they don't even have cell phones in Peru. The comforts of these camps, realizing from where they came from, and their goal is to make a living for their family and better themselves. I think that it all washes out in the end. But the first few months are probably the hardest for some people. The newest man we have came last March, and that wasn't an issue him, but he was a sheep herder in Peru, and he was there with the sheep 24/7. So this wasn't anything new to him.
Throughout the year, the ranchers also make a special effort to accommodate the needs of their herders.
When they do go home, I make they want to take a lot of gifts and everything to their wives and their family and everything, and I give them quite a few catalogs to look at, and they pick out what they want. I order it for them through the internet or call them, whatever, and I'll make a trip, I think, to Walmart, and I had a guy take a flat screen TV back with him one time, and I picked that up. And so those are certain things that we do as the management of the operation to help our employees out.
Every country has their own holiday, but there are a few holidays that we all celebrate together, whether it's Christmas or New Year's or Easter. And at Christmas time, we take our men, not only we take them gifts for Christmas, but we also will take them a ham or a turkey, sometimes wine, depending on the men, because there are some men that cannot handle their alcohol. But we try to do something with them there. New Year's Eve, we look and see if they want to go someplace for New Year's Eve. For example, the men that are here at this ranch in the wintertime, they can go to Craig for New Year's. The men that are in Rock Springs, our camp mover or camp tender that's there, he does usually check. And because nights are long, they can go in for New Year's Eve as long as they're back the next morning.
Christmas time, is the biggest time. We go down at Christmas Eve and give them 3 to 4 gifts, and tell them they have to hold off until Christmas Day. We'll bring them, like a rotisserie chicken or something like that, so they'll have a special meal or something on Christmas Day. Easter, usually we're shearing on Easter and stuff, so we'll usually have special meals there anyway. But the holidays, we'll address holidays and stuff, but Christmas is the biggest one.